Now we'll cover cleaning of the print mechanism on the N5. First, a quick discussion about the necessary supplies. To clean the print mechanism on the N5, you will need several cotton swabs, Q-tips, if you will. Depending on how dirty you actually discover the print head to be, 3, 4, good idea to have a good supply of these on hand. You'll also need some isopropyl alcohol. This can be purchased at any standard pharmacy, chain store, even grocery stores carry it. I would recommend buying a small bottle with a fine spout on it. It's easier to use this to dispense it than trying to dispense it out of the larger bottle. But that's certainly your prerogative, in how you want to do that. So let's move over for a moment and first identify some of the different parts of the printer, and then we'll move on to actual care and cleaning of those items. Up here we have what's known as the platen roller. This is the part that drives the paper through the printer. There's a small gear on the end of this platen roller that meshes with a gear down in the print mechanism that is connected to what they call the carriage motor that actually drives the paper through the printer. The actual print head assembly is this piece right here. When you look inside the printer, you'll see what looks like a piece of gold-colored material with several white triangles on it. That is the print head mechanism. I would strongly recommend against touching that with your fingers. The oils from your skin can get on to the metallic surface of the print head and contaminate it. So I would not recommend touching that with your hands or any other part of your body. So those are the two main parts of the printing mechanism. Also, one other part that we're going to be cleaning during this session, and that is the paper out sensor. As you look inside the printer, if you're looking down from the top, on the right hand side there's what looks like a small hole. That is actually a sensor. When you're cleaning the device, you'll want to go ahead and just swab over that with the cotton swab to make sure that there's no paper residue or any other foreign objects caught in that sensor that would cause the device to give false paper out readings. So let's go ahead and start by cleaning the platen roller. The platen roller can be removed from the clear plastic paper cover by simply pulling it away forward from the cover. There are two retaining clips that you can see here that hold that roller in place. Be sure to note be sure to note the orientation of the roller with respect to that white plastic gear. It'll always be on the left-hand side as you're looking down into the printer, just for your future reference when you're putting this back on. Now, again, during normal use, you should never touch any part of the actual roller assembly with your fingers or touch it to your skin. The reason being is that oil from your skin can transfer onto that roller and it can cause the paper to slip as it's being advanced through the printer. If you see a white film starting to develop on this roller, you can clean it with the isopropyl alcohol. It's actually a fairly simple process. Just take a piece of lint-free toweling. There are many different types of paper towel products that are lint-free. Just put a little bit of the isopropyl alcohol on that towel and run the roller back and forth through the alcohol. Then run it through a dry part of the towel. It's always a good idea to clean this roller as the first item when you're just doing a quick service on the printer. Then just lay it off to the side. That will allow any residual alcohol that's on the roller to evaporate off before we put it back onto the printer and begin using the printer again. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the actual print head. What we're going to do is just put a few drops of the isopropyl alcohol, can you see that, onto the one of the cotton swabs, and we're going to just run that back and forth across this area that we talked about earlier, which is the area that's a gold colored area with the white triangles. That is the actual print head assembly. And you just want to swab that entire area to make sure that you get any residual dust, dirt, or whatever else might be in there off. And I don't know if you can see it, but I did pick up a little bit of something on the cotton swab. There's no need to go in with a dry swab and swab that off. The alcohol will evaporate very quickly. And again, you could either use a second swab, or if the initial swab that you used is not extremely dirty, just go ahead and swab lightly over that paper out sensor, just to make sure that if there are any pieces of any type of debris on there, that you get those off so that the sensor will function properly. That's really all there is to cleaning the print mechanism. Now, a couple things that you should always take a look at. In fact, it's a good idea to take a look at these anytime that you're changing the paper roll. You'll notice that here and here you'll see two silver colored circular discs. Those are magnets that are used to retain the paper cover door, help keep it closed when the printer's operating. There are also two magnets, and I'm going to try and tilt this up, that actually mate up with those two magnets that are in the paper cover itself. One here and one here. You should always take a look just to make sure that none of those are missing. They are extremely powerful magnets, and we've seen on occasion where one of them, if the unit gets dropped, it could pop out of its area and become lost. The problem is that if they do become lost, the printer door will not be held tightly shut, and that can cause inconsistent printing. So now I'm going to place that platen roller back onto the paper cover, and you simply snap it into place on its axle. Make sure that it spins freely, and that pretty much concludes the servicing of the printer. Just a quick note, a footnote here to the cleaning of the print head. If you're using standard, what I call pulp type paper, meaning paper that's made from a wood product, you will have to clean the printer more often. If you're using a synthetic or a polyvinyl type media, the print head will require cleaning very, very seldomly, because the synthetic medias do not emit anywhere near the dust that a standard wood-based paper product does. So that's sort of a something to think about when you're deciding what type of media to use. The synthetic medias are much more maintenance-free than the standard wood-based paper type products.